If you only focus on the red flags, then that is what you will attract as well, just like seed retention or any addiction. Most red pill coaches only discuss the red flags in women. If you only focus on the red flags, then that is what you will attract. The important thing is to keep one's attention on the pathway, not the obstruction. The same holds true for women more often than not. However, you shouldn't continue to feed yourself information about women that only contains warning signs. You begin to recognize that you are changing into a man who despises women, and of course, there are a lot of women in the world who not only have those warning signs but also comprehend the positive signs. Keep in mind that chemistry is important when evaluating a woman to determine whether or not she is the one for you. Therefore, if you can't find anything to cling to in the relationships you have, the road ahead is only going to get more difficult. In just a moment, we are going to talk about 7 of those green flags, but for now, let's start by figuring out the things that set you off and the things that make you feel connected or bonded to the other person. One of the best ways to get to know yourself better in a relationship is to become familiar with the challenges that are present in your connection. Make a list of the reasons why your previous relationship did not work out. Take this scenario as an example. Suppose you jot down that she was completely insane. Take ownership of that and explain why you are unable to maintain that relationship going forward. This is an exercise in self-awareness and taking personal responsibility. The goal is to assist you in recognizing patterns and behaviors in the relationship that either helped it remain stable in certain circumstances or caused it to break down. This is not an exercise in criticizing your former partner. The vast majority of men do not want to hear this, but you attract the kind of people you are. Because of this, getting to know oneself first is the most effective strategy for finding the right woman. Now, turning our attention back to the conversation at hand, what are the most significant warning signs to look for in a woman? Let's talk about 7 of them today. The first and foremost thing you should observe is whether or not the girl is making efforts for the relationship. The majority of men make this mistake time and time again and end up playing themselves. The right girl will make plans, text you back consistently, and show an active interest in nurturing the relationship. The harsh reality is that emotions fade over time. The right girl will be willing to go all in without thinking twice, which is a green flag. She will accept you in public and make you feel wanted. Being engaged is essential to the development of new relationships, but it can be challenging. She would not be afraid to show that she likes you continues to matter even for couples who have been together for years. Active participation from both parties is always required in healthy relationships. Keep in mind that a relationship requires both giving and receiving in equal measure. If she is not fully engaged, then you can be sure that she is just trying to boost her own ego by being with you. Number 2, she is happy to compromise. When the circumstances call for it, the right girl will gladly accept a compromise. Suppose that she chooses the movie that the two of you will watch but allows you to suggest the food you might eat. She may also inquire about your thoughts on the restaurant or location where you are meeting. If a girl plans everything and just tells you when and where it is going to happen, you should probably avoid dating her before you get too serious about the relationship. This will end up costing you a lot of money in the long run because the majority of the time, when the woman doesn't let you take the lead, she is essentially undermining your role as a leader. Simply put, she doesn't want to submit. Number 3, she is an active listener. This goes back to number 1 of how engaged she is in the relationship. Pay attention if your partner puts in the effort to hear and understand you. They ask thoughtful questions, make space for you in the conversation, and genuinely want to know your inner world. Well, these are all large flags in a green color. A relationship is nothing more than an empty shell when active listening is absent. It is essential for relationships that will last a long time. A couple will inevitably hurt one another, either intentionally or unintentionally. Because of this, having the ability to actively listen to your partner and making an effort to understand their point of view is essential to effective conflict resolution. This is by far one of the most important skills that both the woman and the man need to possess in order to maintain a long-term relationship. Number 4, she has high self-awareness. Look at the relationships around you or even your own past relationships. Sometimes, the woman may say things or behave in such a way that she later regrets doing. Later on, she comes and apologizes. "Oh, it wasn't my intention to say that," or "Oh." It is a good sign if a girl demonstrates self-awareness, including being aware of their emotions, behaviors, hopes, dreams, fears, and patterns. The right girl will manage her actions around you. I went too far this time. This is where self-awareness plays a big role. This will only occur when she accepts you and recognizes you as her man on a deep level. Self-awareness also implies that she will be able to acknowledge and take responsibility for her mistakes in the modern world. Particularly in regards to being able to admit your error, this is a virtue that the majority of women lack. Fifthly, she demonstrates empathetic behavior. Empathy is the ability to understand and relate to another person's emotions or even share those emotions. The right girl will fully recognize your emotions. She may even replicate how you feel. For instance, if you are sad, her world may collapse, or she will at the very least understand when and why you are experiencing sadness, show compassion in such moments, and make you feel validated in what you are going through. She is truly marriage material if she can identify her corresponding emotional actions to a certain situation. According to the Bible, God made the woman because it wasn't right for the man to be alone. This is one of the reasons why empathy is one of the greatest green flags. When a man feels as though he is facing the world all by himself, empathy will cause the woman to stand upright behind him and help him stay up. If a girl is able to form secure attachments, then she will be emotionally open and vulnerable to you. She will let you into her life and tell you how much she cares about you. Relationships require this kind of vulnerability in order to develop intimacy. The right girl will be willing to take emotional risks and open themselves up to the possibility of love or rejection. And the fact that the woman is able to open up to you indicates that she is prepared to accept love from you. When a girl lacks emotional availability, she often tries to protect herself from the associated risks. It in no way reflects poorly on her character, but the fact remains that she will make it difficult for you to cultivate your relationship. Seventh, she will not get involved in your personal life in any way. The right girl won't constantly be nagging you for attention. Instead, she will encourage your individuality and independence. This may seem like she is trying to help the relationship, but more often than not, it comes across as her trying to take the initiative in the relationship. You've probably seen women who get upset with their boyfriends for not texting back. Instantly, these are the types of boyfriends that need permission from their wife to do anything. Even if they saw someone in danger or drowning in the lake, they wouldn't attempt to save them unless they got their girl's permission first. If you allow this to continue happening, you are essentially giving the woman permission to control every facet of your life until the situation becomes intolerable. When you do finally decide to speak up about it, you are essentially asking for the relationship to come to an end because she is now accustomed to taking the lead. Because of this, it is unquestionably a good sign if the girl you are dating encourages your personal development as well as your hobbies, friendships, and life in general outside of your relationship. She will give you space to nurture the other aspects of your life that do not always involve them. So remember, brothers, you are defined by the company you keep, and the woman that stands beside you definitely reflects that. Make sure that she embodies these green flags and the feminine virtues that God has blessed her with, but first make sure that you yourself embody all of the right masculine green flags.